What's up, everybody? Jesse here again. And as you may know by now, I love podcasting. So sometimes I'm going to be just showing you pieces of gear that can help you out with it. Sometimes I'm going to be trying to give you tips and, things based on my experience that could help you out. So today, my focus, I've done a couple microphone comparisons and I've mentioned this piece of gear a couple times. So I just wanted to go over, not from like a specs standpoint, but I want to talk about the RODECaster Pro more from an anecdotal standpoint. This is just a piece of gear that is a real solution. So first thing is that if you are already doing podcasting or considering starting one, you wear a lot of hats. You do a lot of different things. You're planning your own shows, you're finding your own guests, or just, creating your own content. Oftentimes you're the engineer. You might also be the editor. You're the marketing person. You do everything. So when I find something that can help limit how much I have to do, especially during a show, that becomes a real solution to me. Now, the RODECaster Pro is only audio. So right there, you can use it as an audio mixer for video, which I'm doing right now. But it's also a great platform if you're going audio only. And you don't even need a computer with it if you're going audio only. It'll record directly to an SD card if you need to, and then you can do your edit later. It's totally awesome. But as you're doing a show, oftentimes, if you're also wearing the engineer hat, then you have to deal with, the faders, levels, microphone tone, all that stuff. Make sure your guests are getting up on the mic close enough. This takes a lot of that work out of the equation. So the first thing to notice on the RODECaster Pro is that you do have faders for the 4 different mic channels, but you're not seeing knobs. You're not seeing ways to adjust the low end or the high or whatever. That comes differently in these menus. And I'm going to show you the menu just for the microphone that I'm using right now, which is the Rode Broadcaster, just so I could show you some of these functions. So the first thing that's cool is that you can just go into this microphone profile, tap that, and if you're using a Rode mic with this Rode panel, it's already got those all preloaded into here, so you can just switch between them, select the one that you're using, and it automatically calls up like the better default settings for you. So instantly, that's made this microphone be preferable to me over the Shure SM7B, at least when I'm using this, because this is just capturing my voice better. And it does give you some other things, obviously there's level and all that, the advanced settings, you can still, activate or deactivate these things. But in general, if you are just, running your own show and you connect up a mic to this thing, hit that profile and move the fader up, that is all that you have to do. So this makes it simple. If you're doing a podcast, especially an audio only one, and all you have to worry about is the faders on the microphones that are being used, that's a godsend. And another cool thing this does is it gives you 4 independent headphone outputs that have these nice little volume knobs here. And that's all you got to do to get headphone outs to all your guests. We have to use Y splitters on our show just for the 2 host headphones, and then guests almost never even use one. So, while we're looking to upgrade and put this in line with our video mixer, there's challenges along the way. There's practical things. There's pieces of gear you might need. This is solving a lot of problems in a row, because you could go out and get a 4-way HDMI or a 4-way headphone splitter and, add that in and whatever. It could work. But if you have to travel with it, or if you just want one piece of gear to do it all, this helps you out with that for sure. And that also makes editing easier. One of the other cool things I'll mention just along those lines is if you do a show where you want to load in music or sound effects or commercials or whatever else, the RODECaster Pro gives you 8 lit up banks that you can either use their presets or you can load your own little audio samples into it. And so that way, if you tell a really bad joke that falls flat, yeah, thank you. So you can give yourself crickets, give your guest crickets, whatever you want to do. There's always, for the joke that does land well. Thank you. So, it gives you some of those functions as well. So those are a couple of the cooler features that can make your life easier as a podcaster. Another cool thing, and I'm going through a couple features, but I'm trying not to just go off the spec sheet because I'm only talking about things that are practical, things that I use or would use depending on the situation. And right now, one of my challenges is with the DV Gear Talk podcast that I'm already having to go outside of the area for guests, which means either wiring up together a Skype interview, which I'll do for some, but also you have the option on the RODECaster to do Bluetooth call-ins. And all you have to do is set your phone to be Bluetooth connected with your RODECaster, move this little fader up here, and when someone calls in to your cell phone, you can answer it and talk to them on the phone, just like a radio or something like, just like on the radio, on a radio show. If you're going to take calls, you could put a phone number out there, whatever you want to do. It allows you to do that. You don't have to worry about a mix minus or, any of these other ways that you might have to do with Skype or Zoom or some of the other call or conference applications. One thing that I've noticed when using non-Rode microphones, let's talk about the Aston Stealth mic, for example. One reason I love that microphone, even though I've gotten mixed results on it occasionally, is because of the different sound profiles that it offers in one, hardware microphone. That one is tailored for more of a deep voice, one's more for a high pitch voice. You've got one that's kind of set up for, say, recording an acoustic guitar. You've got these profiles that can really help you take your microphone to the next level by getting the most out of it and not having to, micro dial in settings or knobs or anything like that. So one way that the Rode does this, I've already shown you the microphone profiles if you're using a Rode mic or a condenser or a dynamic microphone. But if we tap this voice icon here, not only can you look at the strength, this is on strong, this is on medium, this is on soft, but you can also change the tone. So here it is with the deep voice profile. Here it is with the medium voice profile. And here it is with the high voice profile. So there is a little bit of difference there. I'm going to go back to the deep one for now, just because on these microphones, my voice sounds a little deeper than it normally is. Yeah, so you've got all these great features. You also have the ability to go USB in, so like one thing that we do on our show a lot is we'll play a clip of like a YouTube video or something from the internet that we then comment on. So if you're doing something like that, having the ability to do all this here in one board easily without even necessarily needing a computer, you could USB your phone into this or use the Bluetooth function just to play music or a video on your phone, and that'll be recorded. There's so many ways to just do the things that you might want to do on your show easily. That's why I really wanted to make this video. It's not because it's cool and it's not because it has features. It's because it's a real, genuine solution. And I think that when things come out like this that are genuine solutions where they've obviously listened to people and not just gone, okay, well, the sound guys are going to want these knobs and, low pitch, high pitch. Let's take the mid range out, aux port, whatever. No, they simplified it for people who want to just do podcasts and don't want to do a 2-year course at the community college to learn how to use their mixer. You have very simple faders. You have very simple profiles. You can hit the mute button. It's very simple. It's very basic, but it has a lot of function that's going to help you out. So that's all I wanted to do was call out a couple amazing features and options on this mixer that I've been talking about already on DV Gear Talk and in other videos I've done. So I'm going to continue to do microphone comparisons coming out of this mixer. I just felt it was time to actually give the mixer its 15 minutes of fame. So I hope that this was informative and helpful in some way. And if you need help, improving your game podcasting or just want some advice or anything, please let me know. I'm always down to talk about it and to try and help you guys out. So thanks for watching. And if you like it, please hit like and subscribe.